For the few that have actually read any terms and conditions, what sneaky things have you found? There was a story contest from a theme park where your story could be published, but any story submitted would automatically be owned by the company and could not be used by you or others. So they could throw your story in the trash and you still wouldn't legally own it anymore and can't publish it somewhere else. They own your story so they can make money out of it without paying you a dime. They were not obligated to credit you as the writer other than mentioning it somewhere in the first publishing. After that it was fair game. They were allowed to alter your story as they saw fit without consulting you. I wasn't the only one who noticed. It was soon pointed out on social media. There wasn't really a backlash, but I didn't submit a story. Thank you customer for actually reading our terms and conditions. Send us an email with the following content and we will send you a free box of chocolates. They did indeed send chocolate. I don't have a story myself, but I found this article about a man who won a $1,000 giveaway that was hidden in the URL of an app. The 3,000 people who installed the program before him didn't bother to read it. WhatsApp, when it went full Facebook 4 years after purchase, sent out an Android update. The update said it was just adding the ability to give group chats as subheading. What it was actually doing was giving Facebook permission to take information. This option was enabled by default, of course it was, and you had only 3 months to notice this had happened before the option to opt out was disabled. I was late noticing this, but when I read the terms and conditions, the last line said something along the lines of, even if you opt out, Facebook and the Facebook family of companies will still take the data for training purposes. I hadn't deleted my account. They probably had my info by that point, but that shit. Installed Signal. As soon as FB bought it I uninstalled. You just knew they were going to pull some shit like this. I've been using Signal for years and have a lot of friends/family that use it. I was stoned and downloaded a mobile game some years ago and decided to read the terms and conditions. It was like 20 pages and mostly had to do with privacy and microtransaction stuff. In the back half a paragraph was the lyrics to Tutos Africa. A while ago, 2011, there was a scam work from home service widely advertised all over Facebook and other places, promising enormous paychecks and a free trial. It was an opt-out subscription service as you might expect. Curious as to how the scam worked, I looked at their T&Cs. There was a clause in there requiring you to pay $10,000 in compensation to the company if you filed a chargeback against their fees. Whilst that would never stand up in court, dealing with debt collectors who might conveniently offer to settle for a mere $3,000 would be all sorts of hell. Amazon's or service terms contain a clause pertaining to a zombie apocalypse. No, really, however, this restriction will not apply in the event of the occurrence, certified by the United States Centers for Disease Control or successor body, of a widespread viral infection transmitted via bites or contact with bodily fluids that causes human corpses to reanimate and seek to consume living human flesh, blood, brain, or nerve tissue, and is likely to result in the fall of organized civilization. If you want to take Huawei to court you have to take them to court in China. What they don't tell you is that it's near impossible for a foreigner to win a court case in China. That's typical of Chinese business. It's like how they will ignore all of your copyrights and patents, but if you infringe on theirs they will literally bring you down with lawsuits to the point that you may as well not exist. That is one of many reasons that I'm a scared Australian who is slowly having the land around them and all of our farms and other assets purchased by China. I had a Victoria's Secret coupon that said Canadians are required to pass a math question or test in order to be eligible for the discount. I think I still have it at my desk. My job, in part, is writing terms and conditions, agreements, and disclosures for the bank I work at, so I actually do read a lot of T&Cs in homage to the amount of time my colleagues in the field put into writing 18 pages of shit no one but examiners read. The Canadian math requirement is the strangest I've ever seen. Wanted to sign my kid up for cheerleading. Sat there and read the terms and agreement. said something along the lines of, "We are not responsible for any accidents that occur in the transportation of your child." My husband lost his brother in a school transportation accident, and they initially tried to avoid the blame. So naturally that line gave us the heebie-jeebies, and we just left. Turns out they were just a shady company all around. She now does cheer through her school. As someone who had to get a privacy policy and read the thing, as far as I know I'm not allowed to use my own service. According to the legal agreement I got with myself and agreed to, in case I do know that I access the service against what's written in the privacy policy, I should contact myself by email letting me know that, so I can erase any private data I got on myself. If I refuse to erase the data, I think I can sue myself. Send help. I remember a story years ago about this guy applying for a loan or credit card from his bank, but asked to take the documents home and read over them and send them back a signed copy. He added clauses in the T&Cs that the bank had to pay him, and if they wanted out of the contract they had to pay him some huge exit fee, sign the amended one, and send it back to them, and they agreed to it without reading it. Not sure how true it is though. DeviantArts 2S is basically a contract allowing them to print, reproduce, and profit from your art, if they so choose, without needing your permission or consent. Usually this takes the form of ads or contests, where they'll be used in public displays. If you post works that show a high level of technical skill, then you need to either sign it, or use a big ol' watermark. I didn't read this on the 2S, but learned about it. Amazon apparently asked its users, "Do you want your voice data to be used for improving our future services?" You'd think replying no would stop the transfer of voice data. No. It would only not be used for improving future services. They'd still be able to do with it whatever they were doing till date. Please subscribe for more Reddit. Bye.